ES Audio.
Hello, I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, what to expect from Google's I/O developer event. But first, the fertility regulator says for the first time, a baby has been born in the UK with DNA from 3 people. According to reports, the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority confirmed less than 5 babies have now been born in the UK after mitochondrial donation treatment as of April the 20th this year. The aim of the IVF treatment is to avoid women passing on defective genes to their child. It means the baby will have what's called nuclear DNA from its mother and father, which define key characteristics like personality and eye colour, but it will also have a tiny amount of healthy mitochondrial DNA provided by a female donor, aka the third parent. Now, we're just hours away from Google's big tech event of the year. It's I/O Developer Conference, and we already know the bulk of what to expect. First up is the tech giant's first foray into foldable devices, with a new folding Pixel phone set to challenge Samsung's Z Fold devices. On top of that, a Pixel tablet's expected after being teased at last year's event. But tech experts reckon the majority of the conference will actually focus on AI. It's thought there could be some surprises from Google, such as updates to its ChatGPT rival, Bard, and more AI tools for Docs and Gmail, as well as Sheets and Slides. All will be revealed at 6 p.m. UK time this evening. A team of researchers from across the country say hundreds of thousands of people in the UK are being prescribed antidepressants for chronic pain without sufficient evidence they work. In the biggest study of its kind, experts looked at medicines commonly prescribed on the NHS, including amitriptyline, one of the most commonly prescribed antidepressants for chronic pain in England. Professor Tamar Pincus, lead author of the study from the University of Southampton, said their review found no reliable evidence for the long-term efficacy of any antidepressant and no reliable evidence for their safety for chronic pain at any point. The study, which included 176 trials and almost 30,000 patients, concluded that only one drug, duloxetine, had reliable evidence for pain relief. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence said it had reviewed the new evidence, but concluded it was not sufficient to warrant an update to the recommendations in its chronic pain guidelines at this stage. The co-founder of AirBnB has told Tech and Science Daily there's been a huge rise in people booking private rooms in the UK through the app.
In the UK, nights booked in private rooms grew 72% last year alone. So there was momentum before these enhancements.
Nathan Blecharczyk told us in response to the rise in demand, they've launched a new feature called Rooms, a dedicated section for users looking for private rooms with hosts, as opposed to whole properties.
With these enhancements, combined with the fact that a lot of people are talking about inflation, a lot of people are talking about the economy, so we think from an affordability perspective, there's going to be a lot of interest.
It's part of a major app update, which includes passports for hosts, profiling their background, hobbies, and lifestyle. Nathan told us he thinks it's a unique offering.
It allows the guest to read about the host before they even click in to the individual listing. So it's definitely a way for these private room hosts to stand out more and to really showcase what they have to offer.
Now, a 23-year-old from the UK has pleaded guilty to hacking into the accounts of more than 100 Twitter users, including the likes of Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Kim Kardashian, and even Elon Musk. Joseph James O'Connor, also known as Plug Walk Joe, pleaded guilty in New York on Tuesday to his role in the July 2020 hacking, as well as cyber stalking and multiple other schemes. According to the US Department of Justice, O'Connor was charged alongside 3 others involved in the hacking. They used social engineering tricks to gain access to the Twitter accounts, then sent tweets asking followers to send Bitcoin to an account, promising to double their money. Coming up, why hackers are set to break into ChatGPT, and why YouTube's Mr. Beast has bought almost a whole neighbourhood. During the break, vote on our poll in the show notes. Will Google's Bard AI overtake ChatGPT? Welcome back. The US government is challenging hackers to break into AI systems like ChatGPT. The White House has announced that leading AI developers in the US, including Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic, would participate in a public test of their AI systems in August. It's going to take place at DEF CON 31, one of the world's largest annual cybersecurity conferences in Las Vegas. The White House said the independent exercise will provide critical information to researchers and the public about the impacts of these models and enable AI companies and developers to take steps to fix any issues that are found with the tech. Apple has finally brought video and music editing software onto iPads. It's released new versions of Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro specifically for iPads, something YouTubers and creators have been calling for ages. But Final Cut Pro requires an iPad with an M1 chip or newer, while Logic Pro requires an A12 Bionic iPad or newer. And the software will cost $4.99 a month or a yearly subscription of £49. And finally, YouTube megastar Mr. Beast has apparently bought a whole neighbourhood in North Carolina for his friends, family, and employees. That's according to the New York Post, which says the 25-year-old, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, has bought 5 modest and separate homes in the area he grew up in, based around a cul-de-sac. Despite having an accumulated net worth of $54 million, the Post says he lives in a modest $318,000 house. His main YouTube channel ranks the 4th most subscribed on the platform. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock and search for The Leader Podcast for the latest news from the Evening Standard. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1. Catch you then.